Okay, I'm doing a little experiment. I just bought an iPhone. So I'm going to go for my hike, which I start right there at that parking lot that we just saw. And then you walk down this road for a ways. I'm going to try to hold this thing steady. I don't want to drop it. I gotta say, I resisted getting a smartphone, but now that I've gotten one, particularly this one, I gotta say they're pretty cool little things. You can do a lot with them. See why people use them. So I don't know how this video is going to turn out, but we'll give it a shot. So you got a little bit of road walking here. What I'm going to be doing, I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. This hike is about a 10-mile hike, maybe 11. I'm going to do a shortcut that I made about 15 years ago that goes down this canyon and then comes out up there where my tip is pointing that road turn. So instead of following the road, which curls way around down here, this shortcut that I'm going to be taking saves about a mile of road walking. I'll show you what this is actually kind of a cool little trail. But I cut down here, down this little thing, and you wind up coming down the canyon and up that green to the highway there, right down there. Okay, the road's right there, and I just cut down this little trail that we've made over about, well, I guess this is about 15 years old, and it winds down here. It's actually kind of a cool little trail. It was originally, when I found it, it was just nothing more than a drainage channel a natural drainage channel that I sort of just turned into a trail. This is, these are just little drainage gullies when it's raining here. So, cool thing about this is that there's a family of bobcats that lives up here that we see on a fairly, yearly, annual basis, at least once or twice. They live around here somewhere. The den. It cuts around here. You'd never know there was a trail here if you didn't know there was a trail here. Believe me. It's not easy to follow. People do have come down this stuff. Whoa, that was a rattler? No. That was an angry insect. The rattler season appears in May, and that's coming up, May and June. They're out, and they're thick. I've seen 3 and 4 in a single day. Almost stepped on one once. So, this thing just angles down. And I'm just heading right down where that road is. I'm going to go down the bottom here, across the creek at the Canyon Creek that drains into the reservoir here, and then just catch that road, and that saves a mile of road walking. All right, this gets a little steep here down here. So I'm just going to make my way down this, and then there's a little dirt road down there where I'm pointing, right there. And then I'm going to drop down further into the bottom of the canyon, and then just go up where that green is over there. As you can see, it's kind of thick in here. You got to make your way through this little warren. All right, I'm going to turn this off because I'm going to drop it. It gets crazy here. All right, I just came down that little gully right there, and there's a little, it's not currently used as a road. You couldn't drive down this, but it's an old road cut. And that's where I'm headed, right over there where the road is. I just inhaled a bug. Ugh. All right, so I'm gonna have to shut the camera down because this gets a little nuts too. So let's go down this little trail here, down this way, and then wrap around down the bottom there, and right down there where the water is where I cross. And I come up that green, and then right up to the road. So I just came down that. It's pretty tricky. I mean, it's slippery. You can fall on your ass. I've done it a number of times. So I'm going to just go down to the bottom here, and a little bit over that way. There's water down there, as you can see. But I'm going to cross over here where it's easier, and then just make my way over that way. Beautiful area. Just beautiful, pristine. That's the creek I said that I crossed at the bottom. Beautiful, runs all year long. I'm just gonna head up this way. I got a tick on me last week, he bit me, so I'm gonna be on a heightened state of alert today. So I came down that way, up that way, and crossed down here. And I'm just coming up this little green, and right up the top there is the road. Coming out on the road, there's a shitload of poison oak around here, but I'm pretty much immune. Thank God. All right, so you come out here on the road, and then you got about another less than a half a mile road walking to get on the Lily Gulch Trail. So I saved a bunch of driving down and walking down that way and then going back up. It's a nice hike too. Gets you in the mood for what's coming. I've routinely hiked this entire 11-mile loop and not seen one single person the entire time I'm out here. It's pretty amazing. 35-minute drive from San Francisco, maybe 30 minutes. It's midday, and you can see there isn't much traffic here. Kind of nice. I just walked off the road. This is the cutoff to what's known as the Lily Gulch Trail, which goes up this. It's pretty steep. It's about a mile. And then you have another valley that I do a run down into, which I'm not going to do and bore you with because it just looks like shit running with a camera. Plus I might drop it. So I'll show you a little of this. This is really nice. There's still flowing water, but next month that'll be dry. I'm getting up towards the top of the Lily Gulch Trail, just up ahead here, where it joins up with Oat Hill Road. I'm coming up to Oat Hill Road. This is the end of the Lily Gulch Trail. I came up from down there. And the other trail is right over there that goes down to Big Trees. This is a hell of a consistent uphill. I think it's the hardest part of the whole hike. And I'm heading down this canyon, which is where Little Carson Creek is. Little Carson Falls is over here. And I'm heading over that other ridge to another canyon, one of the wild canyons. I call it the Mystery Canyon. Mount Tamalpais in the center. This is where the trail down to Big Trees ends. This is the bottom right here, this little glade. And I've always loved this spot. And I love it so much I scattered some of my mother's ashes here underneath a beautiful old redwood tree that I call the grandmother, which is right over here. I'm gonna take a little 5-minute rest before I head up the canyon. I got another 3.5 miles to go. That's the grandmother tree right there. A beautiful redwood. My mom's ashes are scattered right at the base of it. This is a beautiful area. This is Big Trees. This used to be a work camp when they were building the reservoirs back in the 40s or 50s, whenever they did that. That's grandmother right there. And I just lie down beneath it. I always hug it and kiss it when I come here, because my mother's buried here. Hey, grandmother. I'm a tree hugger. I'm definitely a tree hugger. And this is my rest spot. This is a view on my back against the tree. That's poison oak. And that's poison oak. But I'm right in the middle, so I'm cool. This is a year-round spring. You can drink right out of it. No filter required. This is Dead Horse Gulch. Call it that because 10 years ago, a woman was riding her horse down here and she came across a tree. That goes all year long. And there's a tree right down here at the bottom. This is kind of a steep little 1/8 of a mile up. And the horse turned around. See, like that tree there? He wouldn't go around past the tree branch because it was too big. Got skittish, and up at the top it fell off into the creek and died. And they left it there. They never moved the body out. So for about 3 months, this place stunk to high heaven. So now we call it Dead Horse Gulch. Okay, I'm coming up on Little Carson Falls. This is a protected habitat area for the yellow-legged frog. And this is what's left of the waterfall. It's about 50 feet up to the top. There's a nice little pool down there. It's a frog breeding pool, so you're not allowed to go down there anymore. We used to go skinny dipping in that years ago. And I'm heading up this way, up to the end of this canyon. It's a box canyon. It ends up at Pine Mountain Road. Or actually, yeah, Pine Mountain Road is where it ends. Then I drop down into another valley, entirely different area. Beautiful area. So I got another, I'd say about 2.5 miles to go to where I'm going to have lunch. This little view spot in the other canyon. This is above Little Carson Falls, and it levels out up here for a good distance. And I call this upper valley the Enchanted Valley, as you'll see, because it really is enchanted. It's beautiful, just pristine, verdant. I've never seen anybody there either, ever. Never seen a human walking up that valley. And this is right down here is where Little Carson Falls begins. This is the top part. During the summertime, I know I'm not supposed to go in here, but I'm checking around for frogs when I come in here. I'll just come in here and splash water on myself briefly, just to cool down. Anyway, now we're heading out of Lower Carson Canyon, or Lower Little Carson Canyon, into Upper Little Carson Canyon. Up in here, as you'll see, it's really nice. And I just take a trail. It's a deer trail, but over the years I've turned it into a little footpath. Poppies are out, all kinds of wildflowers. There they go. Here's a little poppy spray. This is where it opens up, and you can see the full extent of this little valley. It's not much of a trail, but I know where it is. So it is probably the easiest way up this. I've seen everything from cougar down to pileated woodpeckers, you name it. It's an amazing area. I've seen herds of deer here, coyotes, all kinds of bird life. Just fucking gorgeous here. And I've never seen anybody in this valley, ever. In all the years I've been coming up here, I've never seen a human being walking through here. I'm headed way up there, that top hill up there. I'm going to cross down to Low Point and drop down into another canyon. Grass here gets really high. It's about 2 feet now. In a month, it'll be 5 feet. When you walk through here, it's like you're walking through a tunnel. This is a hell of a hike. This is a no-nonsense hike. I'm talking 11 miles round trip. I'm about, oh, maybe, here's some poison oak. There's a whole shitload of it. Right through it. And I got my shirt off for tick protection. That way you know what's crawling on you. You know exactly what's on you. Just put some sunscreen on, a little tick juice mixed in with it, and that's how you do it. I'm huffing and puffing because it's not easy walking. It's pretty walking though. Man, these poppies are amazing. The color is just so gold. Orange is gold. A lot of wildflowers out today. A lot of them. Tick. God damn it. A tick. I got him. Pull him off. You can feel him when you got your shirt off. You don't feel him when you got your shirt on. It gets in the way. When you got your shirt off, you feel every little thing that lands on you. I got anaplasmosis 2 years ago. I was one of the few people in the state to get it. And it was an experience I never would want to go through again in my life. It was 3 weeks of absolute hell on earth. You do not want to get that. All right, I'm going to turn the camera off because it starts to get steep, and I'll turn it on when we get to the top and jog over down to the next valley. Okay, I'm at the top of Upper Little Carson Canyon, and what I did was I started way down there the other side of that hill at the parking lot, Azalea Hill parking lot. Then I went way over that way, and then up the canyon back this way, and then up this. And I'm coming out right here on the Pine Mountain Road. That's Pine Mountain up there. And this is what we call the saddle for obvious reasons. And that's the Mystery Canyon 1, MC1 we call it, or Cougar Canyon. MC2, which is the big giant canyon, is over that way, over this ridge. It's the next canyon over, and that's a huge canyon, and it's very remote. There is an old trail that goes down the south side of it, but I've tried to go down the bottom and I haven't made it yet. It's just too thick. I'd need like a chainsaw to get there. Anyway, I'm going to hike down this way for about a half a mile and go to a nice little picnic spot, view spot, have lunch, and then I'm just going to come back and follow this road all the way along this ridge over here, and you'll see that up there, you'll see that little notch right there where the road goes up right there. Then it goes down to the parking lot. So all in all, this is about 11 miles. This is fucking beautiful here. This is just... I have a secret camp in this area, but I'm not telling you where. Good luck trying to find it. Been going to it for years. It's very well hidden, very secret, and I will not be revealing its location. But it's within a couple of miles of here. Up ahead here, there's a little hillside of lilies. Pretty cool. Right here. These are all lilies, white lilies. And actually purplish. And then my picnic spot is right over here. That's where I'm going to have lunch. That'll be as far as I go today. Right down there, where those boulders are, right there. That little perch. That's where I'm going to have my lunch. Sip a beer. This is the view from the lunch spot. Down below there, the bottom, is the old mired hunting camp, the remains of the hunting camp. And I'm just going to sit up here, probably sit against that rock right there, sip a beer and have lunch. Time to go. It's been a nice half an hour. I'm just going to head back that way, up to the notch, or the call, or the whatever, and then walk the road back down to the Azalea Hill parking lot. It's about, I guess, about 3.5 miles. This is pretty pastoral. When it's green like this in the spring, it'll be brown in another month. All right, so I'm leaving MC1 and getting to the Pine Mountain Road, the notch. This is where I came up earlier. This valley down here, which is the upper reaches of Little Carson Creek, Little Carson Falls Canyon area. One of the most beautiful areas I've ever seen. I'll show you. There's a better shot as I go a little bit further ahead of the full extent of it and how beautiful and lush it is. That's more of it. There's an even better shot over here at that that curve right there. If I was the king of the world, or if I had $1 trillion and I could just give Marin County an endowment that would take care of their budget needs for the maintaining of this area for 100 years, I'd want them to give me this spot right here in exchange. This little pad I'm standing on here. And I would build a very modest little house here. And that's what I would see every day when I woke up. Nice fantasy, harmless. But I can still come up here and do this. What a spot for a house, my God. On a clear day, it's easy to see Diablo from here. Today's kind of smoggy or foggy, smazy. Anyway, what a spot, man, for a house. Or cabin. Yeah. Good, excellent road access right there. Yeah. So I'm walking down the Pine Mountain Road, which right down the bottom of this hill here ends and turns into the San Geronimo Fire Road, Ridge Road. It runs along the San Geronimo Ridge towards the ocean. But man, look at that valley. That is just so beautiful. Yeah. That's the one I just walked up, the Enchanted Valley. I mean, it really is enchanting looking. Imagine a little castle down at the bottom there. That would be right out of The Hobbit. Alright, this is the junction of Pine Mountain Road with San Geronimo Fire Road right here. Pine Mountain Road right up there. And this is when you do the loop on your bicycle, this is where you come back. You go this way and you do a big giant loop, then you come back down this to the parking lot, 16 miles. It's gnarly, it's a beautiful ride. And you definitely know you've had a workout when you complete that. Maybe that's what I'll do with my new iPhone. Film that. I haven't done it in a while. Crashes and all. So I gotta walk down this. It's kind of boring. Up a little hump, and then there's a big long downhill roly-poly to the parking lot about 1 mile long, which I'm gonna run, and I won't bore the audience with jerky running shit because it's hard enough to run that, you know, while holding something in your hand, other than holding something in your hand. Anyway, pretty cool. I saw one person today, a bicyclist. That was it on this entire hike. One person. All right, this is where the San Geronimo Ridge Road intersects with Oat Hill Road. That's Oat Hill Road down there. Oat Hill Road was where I came over the hill earlier, and it's over down there, down around that nearest knob that I'm pointing at. On the other side of that is where I crossed over and went down into the canyon and did this big loop. So that's Oat Hill Road, and that's the easy way to get down to Little Carson Falls, which is down there. So now I'm just gonna do the last little mile run down to the car and I'm out of here. It's a beautiful day. I'll do one more video just before I start my run, just to show you where I'm going. This is I was walking right up here, right around this very spot one day. I looked down, I see a $20 bill. Just in the ground, right on the ground. Picked it up. $20 right here. Right here I found it. Just waving in the wind. So this is where the downhill starts, right up here, and just sort of goes down steeply for about less than 1/4 of a mile, and then undulates down to the parking lot. So I'm going to turn the camera off right here.